What's up YouTube? This is Ultra Rye, and today I just want to release a video to help people deal with Farah's mix-up, right? So, a lot of people, playing Kombat League or whatever, and they're doing a string into the low, right? Do a string into the low, or they're doing a string into the overhead, right? And they're mixing you up. So the overhead is 20 frames and the low is 17 frames. The thing you gotta realize is it takes 12 frames for Farah to even jump on the back, right? So the overhead is actually 30 frames and then the low is actually 27 frames from when from when they call Farah. Because it takes 12 frames to get on the back and then you have the overhead low. So one, you can obviously interrupt these, right? You can interrupt them and they can't do anything, and I'll show you that you can interrupt both of them. So right there, right? So we can just interrupt it if we see Ferra coming on the screen because you have a 7-frame jab, right? And she can't block, right? And she can't block. So if you have someone just calling Ferra after random strings, you can interrupt it. The thing is, like, let's say I go to interrupt it and Cassie Cage finish the string, I get comboed, right? So you're not always going to be able to do that. Sometimes you're going to have to deal with the mix-up. So, we can do this thing called fuzzy garden, right? And it's where you block low and then overhead, and you block both options, because this isn't a true 50-50. There is a 3-frame gap in between, which means that it's not an easy fuzzy guard, but it is possible to block the low and the high and the overhead options if they're not mixing it up. And I'm going to show you. So we are going to have her do the low, and then do the overhead, right? And I think I have it on random. Yep. So we can block the low and the overhead, right? By fuzzy garden. You just gotta know the timing, and but if they're not mixing it up, you don't really gotta know the timing, right? And there we go. I just blocked it 4 times in a row doing this thing called fuzzy garden. And this works because it's a 3-frame gap. So if they're never varying up their options, then I can block low and overhead. And once you get this down, you'll be able to do it. The issue is when they start mixing up their options. Let's say you are fuzzy garden, right? They're going to maybe delay Ferra, right? So let's say you go to fuzzy guard, you're going to obviously fuzzy guard low overhead, right? And they call Ferra, they're going to delay Ferra's low a little bit. So you go down, up, and then they're going to hit you with the low. So it is one of those things where if your opponent knows what they're doing, they're not always going to do the same time every time. But let's be realistic. If you're playing like Kombat League and stuff like that, a lot of times people are just going to just just throw it out there like that and stuff like that. So this is one way that I just want to let you know that you can deal with it. But and then you got to think about they also got to throw, right? Like Farah has a throw, and you can't tech that. So there is more options. Interrupting is obviously the best option if you can, because you get a full combo. But if someone's just doing the overhead low, then just if someone's doing the overhead low, just do that. Also, fuzzy garden works if they do something like this, right? It's gonna block that too. So, that is. I just want to get this video out there. I saw people were struggling with Farah, and I just wanted to make sure that, y'all help y'all deal with it a little bit. I know you're still gonna get hit. We're all still gonna get hit by it. but it is something that if someone's just throwing it out there randomly with the same timing, you can just fuzzy guard it every single time. Now I'm going to show y'all me doing fuzzy guarding it for about 30 seconds with all three options, the overhead, the low, and the jump overhead. Yeah. All right, I appreciate it, y'all, and y'all have a fantastic day.